caring more than the next person, people think about having passion for their work, and some people seem to describe it as a luxury to have fun at their job. But you're saying that actually a person's in danger competitively unless they have passion for their work.
There's no question. I mean, the facts are that the business is a game. It should be fun. The manager's job is to excite, energize, celebrate victories. I mean, it's a lot more fun when you win. Pop the cork, you see it in dugout after dugout. You see it everywhere. Why wouldn't you want to win? And winning is good. See, one of the things is winning gets a little bit of a bad rap too. Sure. But what happens when you win? Well, let's talk about what happens when you lose. Go up and down the streets of San Francisco here and take a look at what happens when you lose. When you don't have satisfied customers. When you don't have a winning model. People end up with no work, no taxes, furniture's auctioned off. What happens when you win? People, and you grow. People have more satisfaction in their work. Their jobs are secure. They give back more to the community. They pay taxes. They're better citizens. The companies are better companies. They give more to the community. Look, I ran United Way drives all over New York for years. You'd go in a good year, they'd pay you. In a bad year, sorry, this is a tough year. Winning's important. What was my my successor? He had every right instinct. The second day or the first day after this 9/11 crash, he donated $10 million. Mm-hmm. First one. Look at the avalanche of money that's come since to the survivors. That's what a winning company can do. A busted company can't call up and say, here's $10 million. Mm-hmm. Winning is so good. It's so good for the psyche, so good for the community, so good for the whole atmosphere, so good for giving back.
When you think about the 9/11, what difference does that make for business now?
Well, clearly it's introduced uncertainties. It's introduced uncertainties in travel, obviously. It's introduced uncertainty in the buyers' minds. Terrorism is a new phenomenon to deal with. So it's an enormous, every nerve end is more raw. And so as a result of that, we can't predict the shape of this recovery. Anybody who can predict the shape of this recovery, don't listen to them. I mean, because no one's ever had an economic downturn overlaid by a psychological question mark. So you have these two things together, and it is tough. And it's going to be, again, differentiation is going to be more important than ever. You're going to have to go with your best businesses, not carry your worst. Your best people, not your worst. You're going to be sure, as you go through this difficult transition, that you've got a company that comes out the other end of the tunnel. Because we're going to come out. We're going to win this thing. And we're going to come out the other end. You got to come out healthy, vibrant, alive.
You're talking about more of the advice that you have for companies now. You just can't take kind of random adventures. You have to be even more focused.
I think you have to focus on your best. You got to be sure you're not spreading everything equal. I mean, because I'm a believer in this, other people may not be, but the old, we'll all take a 10% pay cut. What is worse than that? That's just abdication. We'll all take a pay freeze. Why should we all take a pay freeze? Why should my best ever take a pay freeze? Why should they ever take a cut? I want my best so turned on, so excited, so ready to take the next hill.
That's what the bottom 10% riff is for, is to clean out the bottom.
The riff basically comes about, I'm serious, you rarely have to riff anybody, because when they're told where they fit, and you don't give them a 2 or 3% increase, you don't fake it, you give them 0 for an increase, and you don't give them options, a few options. You don't make any of these little sort of corner turns. You hit it straight on, and you give them time. They find a place that fits them better. Invariably that happens.